9 minutes after 8 o'clock. TGIF, welcome to the cage match. It's just me and Azard. No referee, no Michelina to referee. It's the cage match to end all cage matches. No, I'm just playing.
Good morning to everybody.
What's up?
Yes, it's sure.
My man.
A wonderful Friday, fantastic Friday. It's the end of the working day for most people, because there's some persons work Saturday, some persons work Sunday. And I want to say that we've had such a long week of discussions. Just yesterday we had the topic of Guyana and Venezuela that has been inside the news. And before that we talked about the calypso and the soca. Jamster, there is the junior.
We were a little unfair to the soca, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But you went to the workshop to the judging workshop for the soca too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that there's going to be the junior calypso competition.
I'm planning to go record it actually. Mm-hmm. All these things, these thankless things I do. Anyways.
Yes.
So I do it for the love.
That is going to be on Sunday. So the competition for the junior calypso monarch is on Sunday, and based on my information, it's going to be at the Marriott. So those persons,
out front there to the back.
Oh, okay.
They have a stage facing the lobby.
Yes, close by the pool area. Yeah. So
that was very creative.
Thinking?
Yeah, I think it was kind of interesting. Yeah.
So persons, if you're interested in what the young people have to offer, they are the future of the senior monarch competition. Because if you look at the progress, you see that Lady Independent, you see Isa Kamal, and many others have started from the junior level of the competition and went on to win. If you look at King Congress as well, and other calypsonians. So it's a good avenue for persons to enhance their craft and to get that level of interaction, that level of experience, so that when it comes to the monarch competition in the future, they're able to participate well. It's good practice. Not saying that the competition is a practice, because it's a competition within itself. What
I realized was, what's his name? Invincible.
Mm-hmm.
It seems as though last year was the last year he sang in the juniors, because he's in the seniors now. He has a really great song.
Mm-hmm.
He performed that. The thing. He actually made it to the semis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he won't be there tonight, so those people won't have to worry about him.
You mean he won't be there on Sunday?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay. So, and it's good to see the progression. It's good to see the progression, especially immediate progression from the junior level to the senior level. It's really good to see that, and to be one of the top performers at the junior level, and then being able to make it through elimination at the senior for the first time. Because you're saying that he's participating. And he participated in the juniors the last time?
Yeah, I think last year was his last.
And
yeah.
And if that information is correct, then it shows the smooth transition and being able to pass the elimination in the senior.
Yeah.
So it shows the talent.
It's going to be interesting to see how he does against the seniors down here.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was in the senior. I don't know if he made it to the final. I have to ask Abo. I don't remember. I know Abo had told me that.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was at the seniors. This was the song he did a bit. And this was the song he sang on Sunday actually.
Get rid of this
The Begging Society.
Before we put our country at risk, digress and regress and stop begging more than the homeless. Woman begging man for money, man begging woman desperately. We living in a begging society.
This is the kind of song that I know. This is the kind of song that Mish would have a lot to say about.
He sang this at the elimination.
Eliminations, yeah.
Society. We are qualified and experienced to do better.
Hi, Mishi.
Don't want no more primitive behavior. We were taught good morals and not to be beggars. We have the strength and the pride of our ancestors.
So, folks, are you just joining us? It's 40 minutes after 8 o'clock. Don't forget the Junior Calypso Throwdown is happening at the Marriott on Sunday. And this dude, he just graduated in 2022 to the seniors. He, like I was telling you guys, he sang, this was a song he sang on Sunday at Spratnet. Begging Society, great song.
And you see, I must say, you know,
Hey,
Jonathan could hear it a little bit more. I think
okay.
we had that too. I think we played that for the cultural
Yeah, I
round.
did.
Yeah.
Society, we living in a begging society. That like-minded insipidness rampant in me country. If I do for you, what can you do for me? Generosity no longer instilling humanity. People today like begging for everything. They no longer believe in working. From high, middle, low class, they all the same thing. From rich to pauper, everybody begging for something. Politician begging for votes. When they get in, they cut your throat. Ask them for help, they begging to court. Just to give a little support. Nothing for nothing, something for something. It's murder, she wrote. Woman begging man for money, man begging woman desperately. We living in a begging society. They could have the highest degree, from masters to PhD. We still see it, a begging society. Nobody love nobody in this concrete jungle no more. They all want something that you can rest assured. So that like-minded insipidness is at every door. Cause people are beg more than ever before.
And nice music.
Yes.
I like that he said the politicians begging, the middle class begging, the working class begging. So they beg you for a vote, you beg them for something, but he ain't nothing for nothing, so it's murder, she wrote.
Yes.
Who this little boy be?
Yes,
Big man, sorry.
No, he's a big man. No.
We need to make him
Invincible.
a senator.
Invincible. Yeah.
That song for parliament, you know?
I know.
We live
I
in
mean,
a begging society.
it's like, what, tit for squat? Tit for call that? Not tit for tat, tit for squat.
I love to see the young people embracing the art form of calypso, embracing the calypsonian and driving hard lyrics.
And what he says is the reality in which we live in. As you say, it's a begging society. Just the other day, I heard a conversation between EK and Mr. McMahon. It was on Freedom during issues, and it was
I know what you're talking about.
it was
Go
talking
ahead.
about a town hall meeting, and you know, you come there and you set the agenda, and then people are asking you questions outside of what the agenda that was set. And so if I'm getting it correctly, Mr. McMahon was of the position that whether or not you come there and there's a set agenda, persons should be able to ask questions outside of that.
What's your take?
Let me get the other one. EK was saying that
Smart
if there's,
man Azard,
if there's
yeah?
a set agenda, then you come to discuss that, and that should be the agenda and the discussion point. Mr. McMahon was saying that, you know, oftentimes people don't see their representatives, and so this is an opportunity for them at that, regardless of the agenda, to ask their question. I think based on it, I could see merit in both arguments. You know, you set an agenda, but I always say there should be room for any other business. When we go to a meeting, or when, you know, I would be a part of different organizations, you set the agenda that you want in terms of what you see the structure should be, and then you leave room for any other business. That way, persons are able to add to the discussion something that you might not have had in contemplation.
That's a good point.
Let me just say good morning to the wonderful Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Drew. I had the opportunity to meet with him yesterday. Jamstar went in a fancy room and I see some fancy chairs, like some fancy leather chairs, and say they see on TV. I never seen them in St. Kitts before. So, yeah, like I take off my shoes and put my foot because I was going to get comfortable because they might not have me back.
Was it some Japanese type thing?
I don't know what kind of furniture it was, but it was nice furniture, so I was feeling pretty.
Or was it a Shinto temple? What's going on?
Hello, it was nice. I had to tell my youngins, okay, because every time I'm on the other station, I'm always asking for my invitation to cabinet to tell them a thing or two. I have to tell me, I went to cabinet, but I went into a fancy room. So I just want to commend him for the hard work that he was doing. He rushed out of one meeting to come sit with me, and then, his admin was calling him. He's really working diligently for the nation's
you didn't beat
business.
up on him a little bit? I mean, come on, man.
I think he pays attention, they're listening to us. So I just want to commend him for the hard work that he's doing. And Wednesday was Uncle Timo's birthday. I wanted to tell him happy birthday, but it completely slipped me while I was on air. So happy birthday, Uncle Timothy. I heard that you're 29 again. I'm expecting birthday cake.
Oh, talking about birthdays, today is the Honorable Sean
Richard's birthday. Okay, yes. Happy birthday, Sean Richards. So we have 3 of our leaders celebrating, and we're celebrating goodness. I listened to the clip between McMahon and Iki. And my position is, as a leader of state in any capacity, what you're doing is the people's business. And because what you're doing is the people's business, the people have a right to dictate what their business should be. The fact that you show up, this is not a limited company, this is not TDC, this is not the Lord House where the priest is in charge, and if the Holy Spirit move you, the priest need to sit down. The people have a right to ask a question. It is their time, it is their business, it is their resource. And the highest standard of behavior must, without compromise, always come from the head of state. You set the standard, you set the culture. If people are going to come to you to ask you a question, it means that that question is important to them. You hear what that young man said, we live in a begging society? You have to be very careful how you give offense. Leadership's first responsibility is to listen. It might not be what you want to hear, but what harm would it have done if you just listened to him and gave him that 2 minutes?
And then why did you lobby for the job if you don't intend to listen, right?
I don't think they don't intend to listen. I think the job comes with a sense of hubris.
Yes, it does.
It comes with a sense of hubris that if you're not careful, you think you could actually tell people, this is the agenda I set to talk about, and this is what we're going to talk about.
They don't realize that they work for us.
Yeah.
That's why I like the term servant leader. But I think a lot of them just use it. They just bandy it around in a hollow way where it doesn't really mean anything. It sounds nice and noble, but it doesn't really mean anything to most of them. Servant leader, I mean, we are their employees.
Yeah.
And they need to understand that, right?
But another point that he was making in the
the employers, sorry.
Yeah. Another point Ika was making in the discussion is that even though you were an employee of someone, there's a way in which you speak to that employee. So even though persons ask politicians for their vote, politicians ask persons for their vote, and they've been then, if you see it as an employee-employer relationship, then the way in which those persons speak to the politician should be one, or the member of parliament should be one, too, of respect.
I don't believe in that nonsense, Azard. I believe
Neither do I.
People to people should be treated with respect. There is no higher, no protocol respect given to anybody in parliament. Protocol is a thing of power. Protocol is power, Azard. You know this. You understand language. You understand law. All of those petty bureaucratic nonsense, you want to tell me my mother can't speak in standard English and she don't have emotional control, and so her voice should be muted.
I think what he means too is just a level of respect across the board, because sometimes persons
everybody don't have it to give. And because you don't have it to give doesn't mean that your voice should be muted. We live in a society, as I had, with all kind of people. And the more time you spend at the bottom, the more time you realize people just don't have the training. It doesn't excuse the behavior, but all persons must be allowed.
But let's face it. Doesn't mean you automatically should just get that respect. Because let's face it, a lot of politicians, people talk about honorable. When you think really and truly that honorific really only belongs inside an assembly, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, it's when these people become politicians, it's exactly when they start becoming dishonorable. So to me, they shouldn't be called honorable at all. I'm sorry.
In that instance, right? And I'm not calling names to anybody. Maybe it is that they don't start becoming dishonorable. Maybe you're seeing who they always were. But
same difference.
Because now they're under a
same
microscope.
Same difference.
No, they're under a microscope, and that's just generally.
Same difference.
Not speaking to anybody specifically.
Yeah, I don't call anybody honorable. So if they're gonna die waiting.
For me, I don't mind making people honorable and calling you honorable.
Mm-hmm.
I like the affectionate name. I understand context, but coming back to servant leadership, the responsibility of the leaders is to spread a table, to open a tent wide enough to accept and receive everybody. The more time you spend in the grassroots, the more time you spend on the road, in the classroom, in the low places of society, you're going to understand that we have different types of people with different capabilities. So you're going to have people who could only speak dialect. You're going to have people who were cultured and nurtured on bad word. You're going to have people who are irrational because that's how they were socialized.
They bludgeon you with bad word.
Are we supposed to not welcome these people in these spaces because they can't abide to the rules constructed by the elite? Order is a construct, Azard, and we know these things. The people that make the rules in society are generally the elite, and they make rules to benefit themselves.
Amen.
They make rules to benefit themselves. So if me talking to you in a particular way makes you uncomfortable, it doesn't mean I should not talk to you. It does not mean my voice is not valid. It means that you feel uncomfortable and you might need a therapy session or two.
Go on.
Mm-hmm. And as we look at and hear the discussion, it comes not just from that too, but in also our day-to-day transactions. Oftentimes, even in our own personal lives, we talk about communication and how persons communicate with us, perhaps even to us. And I get what you're saying. They take sometimes a level of understanding, because if you understand where someone is coming from, their mannerisms may seem less
offensive.
Yes, if you understand the person. But then again, politicians too are ordinary persons.
You're not ordinary persons. You're a person who are receiving a ridiculous amount of benefit, and the cost of that benefit is leadership. They're not ordinary. I don't get a per diem to go on the bus.
Servant leadership. Let's correct that.
And so because you are the recipient of all of my country's resources, you have a responsibility. One of my mentors in a leadership training program says, and I had the opportunity to speak to him this morning, one of the most responsible things you can do in community is to listen. Listen to connect, listen to lead. Because everybody in their own minds has their own story going on. Sometimes we're walking on the road and we think that people are thinking about us. People are jealous about us. People want to know about the green initiative and the sustainable development state, and people want to get their plastic bag. But each individual has their own world, their own crisis, their own narrative going on. And if you're going to raise your hand to be a leader of all, the courage to raise your hand means that you should have an opportunity to be listened to. Because you set a national agenda doesn't mean that it is relevant to me. You have a power bestowed upon you to set the national agenda, but I'm here to say this other thing is important, and leadership has a responsibility to give grace to that.
And that is
you
why
guys want to take two calls?
Yes, sure, no problem.
829, Island T. Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning.
Hey.
Hi, good morning, Mr. McMahon.
Yes, I think Michelina understood exactly what was happening here. Right? I think Ike made the mistake of thinking that this was a professional environment where the protocols and rules and decorum and all of that applied. Right? You should be respectful at all times. Yes. Regardless of the occasion, regardless of whether it's a town hall or a meeting with the Prime Minister or anything like that. But it's the power dynamic at work.
Exactly.
Here. Yes,
Exactly.
you can't project power and make it appear as if the person who hired you, that's the thing, the person who essentially hired you should be subjected to you.
But
Right?
Mr. McMahon, in addition to that too, even if he were to take that at a business standpoint, when you go to meetings at times too, there's, as I said before earlier, there is the agenda that is set, and and then you have any other business. Almost in any other, most organizations that I've been a part of, whether it's statutory board, political organization, youth clubs, there's a room for any other business.
Yes, Azad, but what is happening here is that you come to the public square.
Mm-hmm.
You come to the public square, and the rules in the public square are not determined by hierarchy. The rules in the public square are determined by the people. You come to the people's court.
And I'm not
you can't
disagreeing with
redefine
you.
the rules.
And
You
I'm
can't bring a paper in the public square.
And I'm not disagreeing with you on that matter. I'm saying even if he were to take it from his perspective, from the business sphere, there's still room for any other business.
Yes, but you come down in the public square, and the public square has its own rules of engagement that governs us.
Not only that, Michelina, and I think you mentioned this too, the public consists of a range of people, right? And they all don't express themselves the same way, right? And so you must accommodate that. They, I think, are not obligated to accommodate you. I think you
are obligated
as a position of power
to accommodate them.
Thank you.
Right. Exactly.
Let me ask you the question, Mr. McMahon, because I saw a clip. The clip was taken and circulated. But where did the discussion come from? What was what happened? Why that discussion came about?
I think, how did it come about now? I think what happened is Ike was essentially complaining about the fact that people go to meetings. Some they're asked to attend the meeting and they don't go, and then they come on the talk shows and then vent.
Oh,
okay. That was one. That was how I think it started. Okay, and then it came about that, and when they do go to a meeting, they come and ask all kind of questions that was not on the agenda. That's how it came about. And I objected to that, right? Because, like I said, like I pointed out, they're not always available. And so you use the opportunity to voice whatever is your concern. And it is, after all, in the fire analysis, it's your interests, your concerns that are intended to be addressed, whether it's about the budget, whether it's about what they're doing this morning, the good governance agenda. It's about the people. It's not your agenda.
It's the people's agenda.
It's the people's agenda.
It can
right?
only be the people's
he
agenda.
understood that point.
Mm-hmm. In addition to that, too, even when you host meetings and being a part of organizations, you often host meetings and you realize that only few people come. That is the reality of it. I believe that you still have the obligation to host. And then on the flip side too, as an individual, sometimes you hold meeting, and I might say we're going to discuss it on Thursday, but as the individual now who has to attend or who is welcome to attend, Thursday might not be a good day for me for whatever reason. And we can't get a good day for everybody. So different people would attend based on different reasons. People might not attend for different reasons. Two, sometimes maybe it is the structure too. Where do they feel comfortable coming to these meetings? Do they feel as though their voice will be heard? Do they feel as though they will be respected? Right. Do they feel as though in the culture that we live in that there is room for voice? Do people feel, because some persons might feel that, and I'm not talking political here, please, I'm not wearing any hats.
Political,
but what I'm saying, some persons might feel as though it's just a meeting to tell me what's happening, and you're not going to listen to me either way.
But Azad,
That might be the general perception
all
from
of the
these meetings.
nuances, all of the nuances, you come down out of the nice fancy office, you come down into the public square with the people's business on the people's time. And so you have to pitch a broad tent. You have a responsibility to pitch a broad tent and welcome and give equitable access to the people's business as they see fit. Is their meeting, not yours.
Right, and that was a point that I raised with him as well. The fact that, people work all day, and you want them to come to a meeting after a long day's work to talk about budget.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to them, it's a waste of their time.
And even when we talk about the budget meetings,
they want to express their concern, right?
Mm-hmm.
The officials who are there, yes, they work all day too, but this is their job, right? They have to report to the people, and they choose this to do it that way. Then the people have a right to get up and ask whatever question they want, voice any concern they have, right? In that situation, it's a case, and I made the example of a boss and an employee, right? The boss might set the agenda, yes, but if he's a good boss, he'll hear whatever concerns, whether in the area of matters arising or any other matters. He would listen to them, and this is exactly the same situation. It's a situation where, yes, might be the prime minister or a minister or a PS, but you are talking essentially to the people you are serving, and that should never be lost. Okay, I don't care what trappings of power there, because there is this tendency, once you're imbued with power, that it not only corrupts, right? Even before the corruption sets in, there's the arrogance, okay, and the tendency to be dismissive, and we have to guard against that because it's very easy to happen. Okay, that was my essential point. I remember, for instance, the past prime minister getting in trouble when he said, "These are my subjects." Yes, this is not a kingdom. This is not a monarchy, right? And sometimes they behave as if it is, right? And so we have to guard against those things. I mean, like I said, you should always be respectful, but don't expect people to grovel to you or prostrate themselves before you or kneel down and give homage. There was another incident, I think, when somebody said, I think in the last administration, when the prime minister came in the room, they asked everybody to stand and applaud. I thought that was funny, right? You applaud if you wish, right?
That situation wasn't in Nevis though.
Azad is like,
Actually, that reminds me of there was an incident with Putin last year, right? Where when things weren't going well with the war, and he gave a speech, and apparently he was expecting everyone to get up, to stand up and applaud, and the usual groveling, like Ira said, and they just ignored him. They just sat there stony faced and didn't do anything.
I was watching a documentary one time, a particular country, in the east, where it is that if you don't applaud at the end of
they disappear you.
You disappeared.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to live.
So let's give thanks that we don't live in a disappearing society, because I think I would have disappeared.
So the applause sometimes
applaud
the applause
but
happens until your hands are tired, until the leader feels your hands.
I find it strange that where do these tendencies? I mean, what is it about our culture that the people that we elect tend to have these kinds of
I think it's the people around them,
quasi-autocratic,
Jamster is the people around them.
totalitarian
If
kind
you
of,
actually ever
you know?
see a leader and the
Yeah.
people around them, they create this aura that they are king. And if you, in this society, they have real power, you know. We say we could take away the power, but a prime minister has ultimate power in saying it's until that election, you know. That minister can make your life miserable and a living hell.
And
It is truth, it is fact, and some of us
And
feel
that's exactly why,
it, know it,
that's why
I
checks
know
and
it.
Balances, that's
And-
why checks and balances are necessary.
And we
Yeah.
actually don't have enough. Because
No, we don't.
we don't, because take for example, I was listening to Mark this morning, an excerpt from the budget, where he was talking about the fact that, for example, he said Nevis has a supply office. Still, I didn't even realize that because they closed the one down here, right? But I was thinking, I've always said that St. Kitts and Nevis is too small to have all these layers of government, right? And then the other problem that comes with that is he was talking about, he was talking earlier in the week about if he's only going to pay double, there will only be double salary if there's double salary in St. Kitts, right? No,
He come back with the double salary
yeah,
talk.
no, but I'm tying them together. But in terms of the checks and balances, we need to have constitutional reform that ensures that regardless of whatever the political governing dynamic is, if it's two parties that are, let's say, ostensibly against each other or whatever, things work the way they're supposed to work. Nevis gets supplemental income when it needs supplemental income. They get the income they get the revenue that they are due, regardless of what the people on Church Street think.
I think when it came to the
So,
CBI, he was really pushing that some sort of framework be put in place.
And that absolutely needs to be done.
Yes.
You see, what I see happening now, which I don't think is a good thing, a good direction, is that these really foundational and important things, whether it be CBI or geothermal, relations between the islands, these things are dependent too much on the personal chemistry between the leaders. That should not be, because they're not always going to be there.
Thank you.
And not only that, these leaders around here now have a way of doing 180 degrees. They engage in a lot of machinations and so on. And so we should depend on the systems of governance, the Constitution, those kinds of things, to make sure that things are done correctly.
Well, I think when it comes to St. Kitts and Nevis, there needs to be within our constitution even greater framework to govern the countries within the federation. We see more or less where there's not, no the equality. There's no equality. Maybe you could even argue equity.
Exactly. This is why it needs to be codified in the Constitution.
It really needs some groundwork, and that is why for a number of years persons have been calling for constitutional reform, in addition to electoral reform.
According to Michelina, she sees that coming. The Attorney General.
No, Mace, I see it coming. I said if it comes and when it comes, I think we have quite a capable and productive Attorney General. Okay.
Okay. Somebody, before you go, Mr. McMahon, someone on the Facebook said, Ira McMahon, I do not quite accept your argument. I am not taking it from a political standpoint, just being practical. An open forum meeting is different and would have different expectations of a meeting organized to address a specific topic. How you address a stray comment or question in that regards requires some tact in response.
That is why we have open discussion, because his perspective must be welcome, just like how the other person's perspective must be welcome. We don't need consensus, We don't need to agree on everything. What we're saying is that we need space for everything to come.
Exactly.
You can't decide you are going to give an opinion and your opinion is valid. It's power. It's power on the conversational floor is the issue at hand. And power only benefits one direction going up.
to directly answer that, though, you realize that when people there ask questions about other concerns not related to the budget, they were answered. They were at least answered. And that in itself shows at least that some folks there, at least in the position of power, understand their role, right? Don't pin me down to an agenda when I obviously have another agenda, right? If you want to be pinned down like that at a meeting, make sure it's in a setting where the people understand clearly this is not taking any other questions except related to the budget, right? If you do it like that, I mean, some people might consider it rude, but if you do it like that, at least everybody knows the rules. But in a meeting with constituents, no. You have to attend to the constituents' needs regardless. Regardless. I could understand, for instance, that meeting over at the Marriott with, I think it was like the college students and other students. They, I could understand, have a vested interest in hearing things about the budget, maybe even giving some ideas of their own. Okay? That's an elite, well, a particular set of persons who are singularly interested in, they might be doing economics and those kinds of accounting and those kinds of subjects, who have a vested interest in that, okay? But the ordinary, you have a meeting in a constituency inviting the public, which is comprised of so many different people. You cannot pin them down to your agenda.
It's power on the conversational floor. As a student, I went and studied languages and linguistics, and sociolinguistics speaks very much about power on the conversational floor. The Caribbean conversational floor says that we are very contrapunal. You gonna talk and I gonna talk, and that is the culture of how we speak according to literature and data. And so if you want to dictate that in the public square we're going to act like we're in the government house, then you are changing the dynamic of conversation that is convenient to a power that suits you. And so for me, it is being very mindful of how we use power, who has power use power in the public space. All of us are stewards of the common good. We have a responsibility to protect the common good. And the common good in this instance is a white tent for everybody and their voice.
And this is something, when you talk about communication, what come to my mind is back at communication studies, sixth form level, that when you are communicating to someone or audience, you have to know the audience you're communicating to. So you must tailor your message to suit the audience to ensure that at the end of the day, you leave based and given that communication based on who are you presenting to. So perhaps as you look at different forums, you categorize your message with different people.
You have to.
At different levels in different ways.
That was one of the criticisms leveled at those meetings. That
you have to. They over people head.
With some technical, yes.
I bright, and after 5 minutes I just tune out because I don't understand what they're talking about.
Yeah. One thing about ex-Prime Minister Harris, not a fan of his. I didn't like his style in most cases. But one thing that he did well. One habit he had. He would go to the public market and interact. Okay, and I thought that was a really good method of hearing, taking the temperature, hearing what ordinary people have to say, right? Is in their setting, not so much his in Marriott.
Hey, maybe the man just went to get soup stuff. Come on.
But even and I look at different politicians, especially as growing up, and you realize that different politicians have different styles. And again, when it came to him, one thing that I observed, and it's not, observation,
Who is him?
Dr. Harris, the Honorable Dr. Harris, is that he's able to communicate. When he communicates his message, he communicates in a way that the average person could understand.
He's connected to culture, because what I think, and Uncle Tim, I stand to be corrected, he came from the bottom up. He climbed that ladder, and so he brought what he gained with him. And some of us do it intentionally. Some of us, when we reach to the height, we put it down.
Aren't all the politicians like that, though, Michelina? How many of them, you'd say, did not come from that background?
No, but what I'm saying is that some of us, when we reach the top, we just dress the ladder aside, almost like you're hiding it. When you're inside and you got a potty, and somebody come, you hide the potty under the bed, so nobody see that you're using a potty in your house. They just hide the ladder. And you're only supposed to refer to me as honorable or doctor, and they does put the pronunciation and differentiation there for you. But what I think we lose is a connection to the common is a powerful thing. I don't understand how we does abdicate that. A connection. Ask anybody where I live. I'm from College Street. You know where I live? I'm from College Street, because a connection to the common is powerful, but we just abdicate it on arriving to first class and PhD and positions and titles.
But it always. What the amazing thing that is that it comes back after 5 years. Eh?
Yeah. They just start to walk again. After 5 years, I want to see how this campaign gonna go, because everybody got a driver and tint up a nice vehicle. I want to see if the driver gonna be on the campaign trail behind them, and when they're tired, they go back in the vehicle. Like carnival in Trinidad. When you're tired, you go on the truck.
Yeah, and as you say that, I really want to see how the next election is going to be.
I want to see if the driver's going to come out.
Exactly, because you look at it and you look at situations, and even in terms of the travel.
Okay, Mac, we have another call. Let's take the call, and then we have to take a break. Long over. There we go. Okay. Okay, finish your thought, Azard.
So as I was saying, even with the constant traveling, we realize that our leaders have to travel. We're not saying that they don't have to travel at some point in time, but the level in which they travel now, or the frequency, in which they travel, is so recognizable that even the average person recognizes. And when the average person recognizes that they're traveling so often, it means that they are traveling very often.
I don't mind them traveling, Azard. Travel is not a bad thing. For me, make it make sense. How does this travel benefit me? This morning, I was on NIS, and I only see, this is the language, and again, I went to study linguistics and sociolinguistics and English, so I'm a detective of language. I was speaking at, I went to represent at, it's a lot of I, but there is a detachment from the responsibility to the common good. Up to now, may know what is COP, because nobody took the time to relate it, to break it down, to say what is COP that benefits Michelina.
Come to think of it, I don't know what it stands for.
No, but I don't know what is COP, and I should not have to expend my intellect to try and investigate what is COP. When you went and showing me pictures, they have abdicated a connection to the common good. But everything is I. Go on NIS. The first 6 things is I. They're literally just I.
Well, that's very interesting, because when we first spoke about COP here and at the studio, we were saying about the number of persons are going and stuff like that. And the information was out there because it was done via a press release also about how many persons are reading that information.
How much persons could read Azard? As a teacher, we're not in the 98.
And that's what I'm saying. And so I'm agreeing with you, Michelina, in the sense that a press release is sent, but before they go on their trips, really no communication to break down the relevance. We're going on this trip.
How does it affect me? how does it affect teacher in classroom? What is my connection to it? As communication engines, the narrative should be out there for me to buy into it, you know. You have a responsibility, the communication department. Make it relevant to me, make it visible to me, get my buy-in, attention, visibility, trust.
But the thing about it, I must say, with this party, they do it well during the campaign, so they should be
Leave
able.
me party, Azard.
They should
leave
be able.
me party and
they
let's talk
should-
about leadership.
They should
Hey,
be able
Azard,
to.
leave
leave
me party.
Easy, leave the foot soldier.
Man a foot soldier now. I put up this shot, okay? I retire man a foot soldier now.
I will give Jack his jacket when it comes to the Labour Party during its campaign, and so they have the messages, they have all of these things out. They're good campaigners.
Azard, I feel like you're coming after me party and me talking about leadership. Leave me party, Azard.
So I'm just saying that now that they're in government, the same energy that you came with during the election should be the same energy that you import in the government.
And
So in
that is
terms
why
of-
we are here to hold them accountable. The first 6-7 things about COP cannot be I and I and I and I. I was reading it this morning and I'm like, how do they miss it? The responsibility of the communication engine, visibility, attention,
Yes.
trust.
And
in
Michi-
order to get my trust, you have to make it relevant to me. You can't tell me a minister from his page, he went to represent what I got to do with
And
me.
Michi, before we go to the break, that makes me recall a psychologist's breakdown of when Obama was on the rise, and I remember there was the first debate between him and Hillary Clinton, right? And I distinctly remember this commentator on CNN was talking about. Notice Obama always says we. Hillary always said I.
Because
I.
when
And
you
that
say
always
we,
stuck with me.
when you say we, you build a big
Yes.
tent to bring people in.
But to
Yes.
pull on that point, Jamster, language is very important. Communication is very important. When you look at the Obama campaign in 2008 and the we, yes, we can. Even us here
Yes,
in St.
right.
Kitts.
Was yes we can.
Yes, we can.
We was in
What
it.
will we say yes, we can for? You
Hello, black
understand?
president.
Well,
we can.
the politicians are probably squirming at the we part.
I don't think
They probably
were.
wanted to say yes, I can.
Jamster, I don't think they were. I
I'm just
think
playing.
it's an honest oversight, and I do believe 10,000% that they listen to us every time. If they are not listening to us directly, they have people listening to
But
us.
he also speaks
so
to.
what we say about SKNIS, it's going to come up in their meetings. It has to come up in their meetings. And hopefully, after it comes up in their meeting, we see change.
But you see, oftentimes when we speak, I think criticism is always important, especially
It's feedback.
constructive.
It's called feedback.
Yeah. And if you're able to take what people say and you look at it and you say, that person is making a point. Regardless of who is making the point, that person is making a point. Let's see how we could address this. Then you come back even better.
You don't always have to respond to feedback, because I don't respond to all feedback. Some people raising their hand to say, Michelina, I find you just talk too much dialect on the English. Dialect on the radio station. For me, my response is please to tune out. Because I want to bring that language that is low class, has no power, into political and different contexts of prominence, because I know when I speak a certain way, it brings other persons into my conversation, into my dialogue, because they see a language they can access and access via understanding.
And they're able to be comfortable with the same with you as well.
Yes, so I know I am speaking dialect because I am a teacher. I know the literacy rate. I know the comprehension rate in St. Kitts and Nevis is a lot lower, and all the teachers listening to me, we know, for big people and small people alike.
And while you said that, I prefer that approach than the approach that says, like, this happened during Obama's time as well. Oh, which leader would you rather have a beer with? Who cares about who I want to have a beer with?
Jamster, that is significant because even...
No, because I feel like...
The point is significant
Yeah.
because even in my going through the campaign and being a part of systems, persons always say, well, you need to come to the bars, you need to have a beer. And at the end of the day, if politicians are expected just to have a beer or just to come to the bar and nothing more, you are telling to persons, we just want a politician who don't come to the bar.
Exactly.
So I would hope that we want leaders not only who, would socialize, but also have a plan for the country.
For me, one of my comrade elders taught me this, and it goes for business. A political leader wants a majority vote. And because you want a majority vote, you have to do things that you might not always want to do because you want a majority vote. I, Michelina, don't want a majority vote. I want the people who my message and my voice resonates with to listen. That is who I'm providing content for. I am not in the everybody category, so I have certain liberties afforded to me because I can tell you, well, if you don't like me, tune out now. If you don't like me, leave me on the road. Because I am Michelina, that is singular, speaking to her audience. Not everybody mean for everybody. And I could respect and appreciate that. But a political leader wants to win. I showing up as the win. With limited power, a political leader wants to win with infinite power. And so the categories are very different. So if I go for political office, I go in the bars. Whether I want to go in the bar or not, I'm going in the bars because the votes in the bars are going to the Marriott. I'm going to Washington.
At the same time,
I'm going on the block.
At the same time, when you get into office, I expect that political leader to be able to function to bring about some significant change or change that is required.
I don't
to the
expect
people.
political leaders to be able to do that. And I think it's a fallacy to put out there that political leaders do that. I expect the team with the political leader to do that. Because 99.9% of the work from every ministry comes from a team. Sometimes a team that is functioning 20, 40, 15 years with and without the minister. You see that team, that invisible, low-credited team in the Ministry of Education, in the Ministry of Tourism, in the Ministry of Agriculture, those are the ones that are doing the meaningful work.
And so
Okay,
it is
guys.
important for the political leader to choose persons who are competent, therefore, to fit within that team. And when you say competent, not just party loyalists then, but persons who they see, even if it's within the party, persons who they see could bring about the change that is required and be able to do the work that is required.
I agree with you.
Okay. Now you know what, we gotta take a break. And you know, I gotta go to the break with here a little something for Michi. The real foot soldiers.
You forget this soldier.
Godfrey, he was the third highest scorer on Sunday. Yeah.
Can't you feel our pain? Is we who does be on duty campaigning? And is we who does be down in the trenches fighting? Is we who does take bullets and blows for you? Is we who does leave the war battle scarred and blue? I'm talking about the foot soldiers fighting on the front line, putting up posters and signs for the battle of the mind.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is WIN FM.
Get ready for a dazzling showcase of talent, intelligence, and beauty at the 41st edition of Kane Smith Miss Caribbean Talented Team. Join us on December 30th, 2023 at 8 p.m. sharp at the St. Kitts Marriott Hotel. Experience the brilliance of delegates from the Caribbean nation, including Mr. Kyla Hart-Johnson, representing St. Kitts and Nevis. Our special guest host, comedian Fat Man George from Grenada. Power Pack performances by Soca Super, Lucas H.E., along with other local and regional performers, accompanied by the Greenhouse Band. Get your tickets fast for $80 EC before December 25th, or pay $100 EC thereafter. Don't miss the chance to watch the show live on sknvibes.com. It's the 41st annual Haynes Smith Miss Caribbean Talented Teen, where stars are born. Special thanks to our major sponsors, First Federal Credit Union, SL Hosford and Company Limited, Open Interactive, and Timothy Beach Resort. Join us and be a part of this legacy.
Dreaming of that perfect getaway? Hop aboard the Michelina ferry to the breathtaking islands of Saba, Statia, St. Martin, and St. Kitts. Embark on a delightful journey and enjoy sun-kissed beaches, vibrant cultures, and unforgettable experiences. Visit MichelinaFerryService.com to book your island-hopping adventure today.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Unwrap the joy this Christmas with TDC. Dive into our all-in-one Christmas package. Purchase a 2024 model from TDC Automotive and seize an auto loan at just 4.75% from TDC Financial Services. No deposit, no repayments for the first 3 months, and up to 8.5 years to repay. Because your dream car deserves a dream deal. And that's not all. Drive worry-free with TDC Insurance. Enjoy up to 60% no-claim discount. Make your holidays unforgettable with TDC, where every drive is a celebration. Hurry, visit TDC today and let us make your Christmas extraordinary. Terms and conditions apply. TDC, your road to a festive ride.
Yes, this is 50. Why I love Christmas, you know? Everybody gather around. Mommy turkey cook yet? Bells ringing in the snow.
5 minutes after 9 o'clock. I gotta poke some more fun at the labor people. Apparently even the labor ministers can't survive on the labor.
Things bad. Consumer confidence real low. The increase in inflation tied to food importation is hamstringing the poor. Minimum wages competing with price gouging, and the poverty alleviation benefits decreasing. So when the ages say they'll increase salaries by 85%, I felt disappointed because the intent was only for the government. Really, labor ministers can't survive on the labor unless they raise up their salary. But we are left to survive on 365 in this same economy.
Oh, the poor labor leaders.
Me couldn't.
Oh, the poor
Me
labor
couldn't.
leaders.
She said labor leaders can't survive
My-
on the labor. They need to raise their
My
pay.
heart bleeds. Not.
Kai so sweet this year, you know.
Yes, indeed.
She didn't make it to the semis, though.
I think they wanted to silence. She said.
I was a judge, so I'm going to keep quiet on that one.
I mean,
But,
yeah.
we got 2 calls coming in.
Okay, let's take the callers.
Yes.
Okay, caller, go right ahead. Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, okay, so I guess we can chat in the meantime.
I just want to big up the Sadler's Secondary School for winning the Jones Cup Limited Under 14 Secondary School Football Champion. Sadler's, you guys have been on a winning streak from having a number of remarkable teams to winning this cup. You guys have showed up and showed out for the start of the academic year. Congratulations to the Deputy Principal, Mr. Jones, and the Principal, Mrs. Byron Isaac, and the whole team over there. Teachers and education staff, congratulations for doing an amazing job. I think they won the cook-off too recently. So they're on a streak. Continue to shower your support on the Sadler's High School, and let's make education great again.
And with that, we go to the phones. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. The Great Messiah.
It's
What's up?
It's not the bar.
Hmm?
It's the concept. It's Ubuntu.
Ubuntu,
All
yeah.
of us.
Togetherness, right? Yeah.
I am because you are.
Because, shush, it is I am because you are. Going to the bar, that is what the politician is saying to the people. It's not the bar or the drink. But I'm going to tell you something too. You see within it, the captain must know the game. This time around, the captain never played the game. See, an alliance, when we grow up, we would be able to form alliances like this. See, Sean Richards, 20-something body, maybe years, parliamentarian. Minister in what sustainable development, that is, public works, education.
Yeah, post, I
Deputy
think.
Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Part of our government, 7 years. Timothy Harris, Prime Minister, Minister of Parliament for 100 years. Experience in agriculture, for example, education, national security, finance. Denzel Douglas, foreign relations. With all the experience, you see an alliance like that? When we grow up, we're going to form such an alliance where Timothy and Sean going to forget the fallout. The two of them together did something that nobody ever thought could ever happen. The two of them take the village seat. That's a serious strength. It tell them something, but we don't learn. When we grow up, we got mend fences and forget differences. Timothy and Sean need to link up and then run the country again. Sean for Prime Minister. Yeah, man, say so. Bless up.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. Actually, he makes a good point.
What good point he make?
In the sense, no, the first part where he said, "It's I am because you are,"
Oh,
and I get that. I get that.
Yeah, that's an African proverb.
Yeah,
I am because we are, and it's a sense of community.
Yeah. And meaning, I can't help you if you don't vote for me.
Yeah.
So I'm here to fellowship with you. Hope.
I thought you were saying he was making a good point about Timothy and Sean running the country again. I was going to raise my hand to object.
No, I wasn't weighing in on that. Let's go back to the phone lines. Okay, that one dropped out. So let's hope they call back. But yeah, I just saw an article here from the one that you have in the chat. Well, let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, go right ahead.
Morning, guys.
Good morning, Carl. How are you?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad for my age.
Wonderful.
Folks, it is good that we come to the point because many times you go to town hall meeting, it's maybe once a year you get a chance to talk to your representatives that you elected or are your representative, whether you vote for or against. And when you go to these town hall meetings, the person that controlling the mic, we would say after they done had their long talk, they want to tell you, well, you only could ask one question because time is short. You're talking on the radio, you're talking at conferences, you're talking all over the place. You still come to our town hall meeting and you want to talk, the ministers, they want to talk for an hour and a half, start 7, talk for an hour and a half, and then 9:30 they're telling you, you only could ask one question. I wait a whole year and months, have so much grievances and concerns and worries and stress, ideas and suggestions, and you are going to tell me that I only could ask one question at that time and may not see them again? It is not supposed to be a controlled environment like that, and that is why, guys, I continue to push for constituency councils that is paid by the taxpayers. And the constituency must elect these councils. We must have constituency election where we elect these councils, not no minister, or a government organization come to our constituency and elect these or select these councils.
That's a brilliant idea. And I also think it should be made up of each political party, and each political party has a quota, so the whole community feels represented and everybody has to work together. That is a brilliant idea.
Right. And I keep pushing this idea to them, and none of the governments them won't take it up. And then they want to come to us once a year or once every 3 years in a town hall meeting, and we ask one question, and we must make the question short.
Because if they do that, it means that they are willing to share power.
Yes.
And to be willing to share power means that you're very mature and you have the interests of the people above everything. But power is not something that people are actually willing to share. You actually can't find an administration or a leader who is willing to share power. Even look in the workplaces. Look in the church. It's hard to find a leader that is credible and empathetic and feels safe. A lot of them don't feel safe, you know. They feel safe in their leadership so they can invite other people in to lead with them. And we don't feel safe in our leadership because a lot of the time leadership is given to you. And so if they give you, they could take it back. You earn your seat at the table.
And see how it is, right? The constituency council will be made up of junior, middle-aged, and senior people. And here how good it will be. From these constituency councils, you could have your next representatives of your constituency without the party selecting them.
That could be an avenue. That could be an avenue where an individual is placed for consideration. I do like the process in the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party. I can't speak to the others where candidates have to go through a process.
Not but the party come and say, well, Carl Brown does be around sports, and Carl Brown does be in the football committee, and this, so we think that's the representative for the constituency. No, it will be selected by us, and then who will be accepted by the party, because it is the constituents that say they want Sonia or John as the representative for the next election. And not only that, at times we can invite a couple members of the government, and at times we can invite our elected representative of the constituency to hear from the constituents, where they could go back to the parliamentarian and say, listen, this is what my constituent is saying. They don't want a community center, they want a police station. They want a park.
And you know what is good about Troy? It means now that the minister has to listen to everybody and not just some people.
Exactly. They highly disrespect us. I just feel highly disrespected when I see things come in my constituency happening. People shoving off land. You don't know who sent them. The minister and the committee that the minister select didn't come and meet with the constituents and say, we are going to do this thing. Remember in the last town hall meeting, I asked a number of things. This is one of the things, and we come here to let you know this is going to be happening, and what are you think, are your ideas, and so before we put down anything, and then are you ain't like it. Highly disrespectful want to come and shut down what they want in the constituency. Who said that is what we want at the moment?
Okay, Carl, we have to take another break. Kind of chuckle about this morning. So it's 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take another quick break. Don't forget, coming up at the bottom of the hour, we've got Fireproof.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
The
Rotary Club of St. Kitts is pleased to announce the return of its free prostate screening clinic on Saturday, 13th January. Once again, we are collaborating with Dr. Dwayne Thwaites, Urology Associates, the Largemount Olive and Avalon Medical Laboratory. All men in the Federation, age 40 and over, are encouraged to come out on Saturday, 13th January to the Largemount Olive in Taylor's Range, Bastyr. Registration starts from 6 a.m. and closes at 2 p.m. Breakfast will be on sale. Ladies, encourage and bring your husband, partner, father, uncle, brother, male relatives, and friends to this free prostate screening clinic. Valid government-issued photo ID required. General wellness checks will also be provided. So all men over 40, I'll see you on Saturday, 13th January at the Largemount Olive Taylor's Range, as early detection can save lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, mark your calendars for the fashion extravaganza of the year. On December 17th, Sugar Mass 52 unveils Rock the Runway at the Ramada Resort starting at 4:30 p.m. Immerse yourself in a symphony of style featuring local talents like El Couture, Gems Fashion, Brown Sugar, Manny Duque, Vaughn and Slim, Carabel Boutique, and more. Witness their incredible designs that paint a vibrant picture of our cultural identity. This isn't just a fashion show, it's an experience. Admission is only $30 and $20 via the Dcash app. Join us at Ramada Resort on December 17th at 4:30 p.m. for Rock the Runway. It isn't just an event, it's a celebration of style into a world where fashion reigns supreme. You can secure your spot to witness the magic unfold at Rock the Runway, where style takes center stage.
Here's your Hustlers Value Mart idea specials running November 30th to December 13th. The more you shop, the more you save. Into December, get the double points on dairy and frozen food. Now, our value blue tag specials. Sunny Delight Smooth and Tangy, $5.99. Egg waffles and pancakes, $13.99. Stone Ridge ice cream, $16.99. General Mills Honey Nut Cheerios and Lucky Charms, $17.99. Essential Everyday Shredded and Chunk Cheeses, $7.99. Quaker Granola Bars, $12.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. Nora Sides, $7.99. Orchid Apple Drinks, $9.99. Ensure Nutritional Drinks, $8.99. Quaker Oat Regular and Quick, $17.99. The Colgate Toothpaste, $7.99. Extra Liquid Detergent, $12.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, and get the double points for more rewards today!
We've got 8 minutes until fireproof, and we are back. Island tea.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are back. And just for persons, yesterday we had the discussion on the Guyana-Venezuela situation. And just not too long ago, there's an article that came in saying that UN to hold emergency meeting on Venezuelan claim to Guyanese territory. And so it says the UN Security Council scheduled an emergency closed meeting Friday at the request of Guyana following Venezuela's weekend referendum claiming the vast oil and mineral-rich Essequibo region that makes up a large part of its neighbor. In the letter to the Council President, Guyana's Foreign Minister Hugh Hilton Todd accused Venezuela of violating the UN Charter by attempting to take its territory. The letter recounts the arbitration between then British Guyana and Venezuela in 1899 and the formal demarcation of their border in a 1905 agreement. For over 60 years, he said Venezuela accepted the boundary, but in 1962 it challenged the 1899 arbitration that set the border. The diplomatic fight over the Essequibo region has flared since then, but it intensified in 2015 after ExxonMobil announced it had found vast amounts of oil off its coast. The dispute escalated as Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro held a referendum Sunday in which Venezuelans approved his claim of sovereignty over Essequibo. Maduro has since then ordered Venezuelan state-owned companies to immediately begin exploration in the disputed region. So, an Associated Press interview on Wednesday, Guyanese President Ali accused Venezuela of defying a ruling last week by the International Court of Justice in the Netherlands. It ordered Venezuela not to take any action until the court rules on the country's competing claims, a process expected to take years. Venezuela's government condemned Ali's statement, accusing Guyana of acting irresponsibly and alleging it has given the U.S. military Southern Command a green light to enter Essequibo. Venezuela called on Guyana to resume dialogue and leave aside the erratic, threatening, and risky conduct. In his letter to the Security Council, Guyana's foreign minister said Maduro's action Tuesday, ordering immediate exploration and exploitation of the oil, gas, and mines in Essequibo, a flagrant violation of the court's order, which is legally binding on parties. It says under Article 94 of the UN Charter, Todd said, if any party to a case fails to perform its required obligation, the other party, in the case of Guyana, may take the issue to the Security Council. Quote, Venezuela is now guilty of breaching all these obligations, and the action it has announced that it will soon take will only further aggravate the situation, Todd said. And in the court, he said its conduct plainly constitutes a direct threat to Guyana's peace and security, and more broadly threatens the peace and security for the entire region. End of quote. He said the Security Council at Friday's meeting to determine whether the situation is likely to endanger the maintenance of international peace and security. End of quote.
So basically what you're saying is that Venezuela acting like a bully and trying to take up something that don't belong to them because they realize it has a value.
Okay. Well, basically, in addition to that, it's saying that, Venezuela, there was the arbitration in 1899 for 60 years. Nobody said anything about it. Guyana operated in 1962. The is issue, but those issues now intensified in 2015 or thereabout, when the oil company now said that we have oil down there and minerals and so.
Yeah, that Venezuela just seemed to be being a bully. They are a bigger country. The land is there, and so they want it because it could be of use to them. It's not right, and the world is saying, "Hey, you can't go bullying people."
And the thing about it,
we have a caller here.
Oh, we have a caller. Caller.
That's what
I'm saying. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller.
Good morning.
Good
Okay,
morning.
Please be brief because we have like 2 minutes left.
That please, the begging, please. Let's say, because this carnival with the folklore group. You know nothing about. Carnival go open next weekend, and it's like, excluded. A lot of things going on, only certain persons know, That's what I tell you, Please. Because it's like folklore groups could be arrested. There mind of few clouds going in, person loading carnival troop. Find out where to cut around the system in that stadium. Want to go in the troop. Just got close to so go the rest and doing as they like. But the real clowns have been suffering because of that. For example, after Juve, why do we can't folklore on the streets of last year? Pull the visitors off the street and spend more money. It's going through the economy. All of these things they want to sit down and discuss with us. Right.
Ensure that we have that we plan for that. So, in addition, I want to say that so that's the claim when it comes to Venezuela. I think too, if Venezuela does have legitimate claim to it, then it should present those arguments to the International Court of Justice. I think that's at the end of the day, if you do feel that you have a legitimate claim, a legal point, a legal claim to the land, then present that at the
Yeah, but a
ICJ.
bully doesn't follow the rules. And so that's why I said they're being a bully. They see something, they're bigger than Guyana, they want it. They're going to take it up. Because I'm sure they ain't studying no regional or international body. Everybody done say what they have to say, and Venezuela is like, I want it and I'm taking it. Do something.
Yeah. In addition to that, I want us to note that there is going to be aired here on Win FM, and I know Michelina shared this with me as well, introducing the St. Kitts and Nevis Good Governance Transformation in celebration of International Anti-Corruption Day 2023. So today, December 8th, 2023 at 10 a.m., there's going to be a discussion on good governance transformation, and we will have at the Solid Waste Management Corporation headquarters. That is where it's going to be at. It's going to be
I'm
streamed
going,
here.
Azard, you're going?
Well, I would have to listen because I have some meetings scheduled during that
So
time.
you can't listen, you gotta listen after.
Afterwards,
but I'm going.
yes.
I'm going for a good seat.
So we have here the Director of Public Prosecutions, Special Prosecutor, we have the Integrity Commissioners, we have the Ombudsman, Information Commissioner, the Attorney General will be present to answer questions from the press on the 5 pillars of
And
good
they
governance.
said the public could come. So if you all want to be there, let's go.
So Transformation, Anti-Corruption Act, Integrity in Public Life Act, Freedom of Information Act, Whistleblower Protection Act, Unauthorized Disclosure of Official Information
All the
Act.
things we did talk about, they're going to talk about it
Okay.
again.
Okay, one thing I want to squeeze in before Fireproof. Yeah. I just got a notice here from Biff. The St. Kitts and Nevis Table Tennis Association. They're doing a table tennis talent identification program. It's free. It's happening tomorrow, Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it covers kids ages 7 to 15 at the Sandy Point Community Center. It's sponsored by, it's sponsored by the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee, right? So it's all part of SKN Youth Development. For registration, you can call 767-5886, 668-2055. So once again, if you're interested in table tennis and you want to see if you have the talent, you have the racket chops, you can head to the Sandy Point Community Center tomorrow. It's for ages 7 to 15. It's free. So yeah, I'm going to try and read that again before 10. So we have a 15-minute presentation of Fireproof coming up now. We're going to take a quick break and hear from Rams, and we come back.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, 9:31.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Merry Christmas from Rams, the good food people. Jingle bells, the hours are bright. Shopping at Rams is a true delight. Stock your pantry, spread the cheer. $50,000 of groceries for a year. Fruits and veggies, treats so sweet. Rams, the good food people can't be beat. The joy of giving with better prices in every aisle. Our team preparing. Fill your cart this holiday season and shop with Rams and win $50,000 in groceries for a year. Terms and conditions apply. See in stores for details. Happy holidays.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, let me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. Give her a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly. Pressure, hey, pressure, get the boy there. You know why? What's up? Look the thing get what's. Look the thing get what's up. Got the thing get what's. Got the thing get what's up. Got the thing get what's.
And it's time for Fireproof. We've got the officers on deck. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, good morning. So we have 15 minutes of fireproof. We're going to make the best of it. Guys, tell us what is happening. We have the officers here with us.
Good morning, good morning. It's good to be back here again at WINNFM with our lovely co-hosts for another edition of Fireproof. I am Fire Substation Officer Carindale Hodge here with Mr. Clark, Fire Station Officer Clark, once again to speak to you on matters pertaining to the fire service and the general public. Mr. Clark?
Yes, good morning, good morning.
Yes. So, Mr. Clark, engage us.
What are we talking about this week? I saw the fire truck going fast someday in the week. We had a fire recently.
Well, if it's the Bastille, Chuck Bastille is the most active district we have, and they are always responding to calls. Always, always, always. I kind of miss being in Bastille for that.
But the rest looks good on you. So what are we talking about today?
Oh.
Okay, today we wanted to speak about the dangers of fireworks. It's a very long topic, but we would try and squeeze it down to where we had, where we recently had the Guy Fawkes, where we had the lot of fireworks, the small and the extremely loud ones that I was very much afraid to be around.
Mm-hmm.
But we going into the Christmas season, normally a lot of the establishments would have their fireworks going on.
Yes.
It's mostly controlled and, free from children and persons being in danger, but there are harmful effects of them as well, where the lighted portions of them may come down and could start a fire.
Or injure you.
Yes, and injure you. They could get in the debris from them could get in your eyes. They are very harmful to your eyes if you get burned from them, as well as if they drop on areas that are very dry, they can
start
fires. So most persons will contact the fire department when they are having those fireworks, but sometimes we just hear the noise and see the light in the air. So I want to encourage everyone who is planning on having the New Year's fireworks, at least just to tell us at the fire department and to have us come check the area, so at least we know exactly where you're lighting these things from. If there is an eventuality, then we know what route we're using and so forth. But
so what you're basically doing is asking the different sectors and community stakeholders, if you're going to have fireworks to ring in the new year, bring in the fire department as a stakeholder in your planning meeting for security purposes. Safety and security purposes. That it makes so much sense. it just I'm a starlight kind of girl. Even for Guy Fawkes, I'm a starlight kind of girl. I'm afraid of them.
I thought you like hearing
only in the oven. And let me tell y'all, like this week when I was lighting the oven, I find myself practicing my old habit. And then I was like, turn off the stove. So I turn on the oven without lighting it, and then I turn it back off because I was like, okay, the officer said I can't do this, it's dangerous. But I missed a little. But I'm changing my behavior and I'm being fire safe and secure.
Yes.
But I like the initiative of the fire services, fire and rescue services, saying you're raising your hand as community leaders. You're raising your hand as stakeholders in the community to say, we are here, and when you're going to be creating events of enjoyment, please invite us so that we can talk to you about preventing potential hazards. Does that apply to like the missing kids contestants and so? Because sometimes when they come out in their swimsuit, it's poof and bam Ta!
Yes, for all of those shows, there is normally a fire representative. Anything to do with them, there is a person there. And for this shows also, fire presence is always there.
Oh, I didn't know that.
A
That's
number
good.
of officers, a supervisor.
They get to go to the show free.
Well, if it's so you say it, but yes, it's work.
Okay.
You get to go to work at the shows.
Okay, that's brilliant. I didn't know that you guys were integrated into the carnival in that way. That is good for the public to know that, you know, when the girls come out in the swimsuit and it's poof and bam and splatter tat tat tat, the firemen are there to keep us safe in case one of the debris drop down in the crowd and something amazing happens. I really appreciate that.
Yes, so if we can back up a little bit to the small fireworks before
Starlight
we get on to the big one. Yeah, even the starlight. You realize the starlight is a steady piece of fire?
No.
Mm-hmm.
You don't burn you.
The starlights are, it's a steady piece of fire on the metal.
Because it burns continuously down until the
and
thing is...
If one little spark off a job, 'cause, you know, we like to give those small toddlers also the starlights. If they are to drop it, and it drop on anything that is highly combustible, something that would burn easy, you would see the effect of it. And then I don't even know.
Michelina is silent now because she's now reflecting on her ways as a starlight girl.
I'm fine now. You're trying to fight me down. I'm trying to fight me down. You know,
Trying to keep you safe. Trying to keep you safe.
Don't give it like the oven. You know, I take with me poof. No, I want take with me starlight. But it's okay.
No. Not taking it away. It's just to say,
Use
for
it
the
safe?
starlights, use it safely. Use it outdoors, preferably on a concrete surface. Maybe even on the landing, but more in the yard.
Yes.
Officer, tell the truth. You remember the starlight where you write your name and make the different shapes and stuff? The starlight?
They had
I
one
feel
like that?
That's what you just do with a starlight, Azard.
She made the pattern of shaking.
Yes. So it's like a fire line, and you know, like you feel like these people in Star Wars, and you're just going like this with your fireworks.
You try to do as much as possible with it before you burn down.
Yes.
And if you starlight finish fast, and you start to abuse, just make it just done so quick.
Yeah. I find that, you know, my earlier time, I find that the as I age, I felt like it burned on a lot faster.
If you like so for sure.
Yes.
You
And they
needed to
become
buy
more
a pack.
expensive.
Yes.
You need, and then you had those. I wasn't rich, so you know, you just had those that like look like the match. I don't know why, but the thing for the match go right up, and then you had like the fancy one with the paper and the pink and the yellow and yeah. What as a teacher though, what I witnessed among students, and Miss Charles is a punk. I'm a stern disciplinarian, but me I know when near fire when they're playing. I find that we have a lot of children playing with fire, and playing with fire in a way that, like, you know, those, help me, you know, like when the thing, like they could point it and a bomb come out, and they're pointing
sky
it
rockets.
at the sky rockets.
Yes.
And they're pointing it at one another. Help us to educate ourselves as teachers and parents and community why that is so wrong.
Well, I would have seen some of this recent Guy Fawkes season that passed, where persons have the same skyrockets and the other ones them that pop out of the paper thing, using them as more or less gun missiles to shoot at persons,
one another.
and running between vehicles, between houses and so forth, and those things are flammable. I think the Kuri fire we had some time back there, that was because of fireworks, right?
I believe so.
Where 2 buildings were completely taken down. A very, very large fire back in it was in the 80s or the 90s?
Way back?
Yeah.
The 90s, because I
The
remember
90s, I
it.
think it was.
I remember the buildings
So-
being erected, and I remember the fire.
The fireworks are highly flammable. They are very dangerous if not used properly. So it's just trying to tell persons to use them properly, not to abstain from them, but you use them properly. Those things are to be pointed in the air, and you watch the nice picture, the nice color you would get from them coming out of the tubing.
Responsible use.
That's nice.
Okay, you guys have 1 minute to wrap up, so I'll give you guys the last word. Y'all could maybe draw straws or whatever, or decide who's.
Yes, so basically, the fireworks are, it's a good sight. When you're looking at them, the nice colors and explosions, but they're very much dangerous. So we're asking parents to be more considerate and monitor these children when they are participating in such events. Also, I don't think that children or young persons should be able to purchase these fireworks. If they want to purchase them without the consent of the parents, they're going to light them, unknowing to the parents that it itself can cause danger to persons' property, livestock, even themselves. So let's keep these precautionary measures going forward, and wish everyone a safe and wonderful time. That's it from me.
All right. Thank you for having us once again. It was a pleasure.
No problem.
Pleasure was ours.
We're going to stick and stay as we return for our last and final 15 minutes.
Pressure, hey, pressure, get the boy there. You know why? What's up? Look the thing get what's.
You found the sound 98.9. Win FM.
Merry Christmas from Rams, the good food people. Jingle bells, the owls are bright. Shopping at Rams is a true delight. Stock your pantry, spread the cheer. $50,000 of groceries for a year. Fruits and veggies, treats so sweet. Rams, the good food people can't be beat. The joy of giving with better prices in every aisle. Our team preparing. Fill your cart this holiday season and shop with Rams and win $50,000 in groceries for a year. Terms and conditions apply. See in stores for details. Happy holidays!
Do you want to know what's happening in sport? Tune into On The Ball, a weekly tour show which is on Win FM 98.9 every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. with me, your host, Troy Biff Mills. We will keep you on the ball with our variety of guests and, of course, your calls, discussing the facts and the stats and sharing your opinions. Get on the ball and stay on the ball by tuning into On The Ball with Troy Biff Mills on Win FM 98.9 every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. and also on Facebook and YouTube. Be on the ball.
Times hard, things bad, consumer confidence real low. The increase in inflation tied to food importation is hamstringing the poor. Minimum wages competing with price gouging, and the poverty alleviation benefits decreasing. So when the ages say they'll increase salaries by 85%, I felt disappointed because the intent was only for the government. Really, labor ministers can't survive on the labor unless they raise up their salary. But we are left to survive on 365 in this same economy. So tell them when they raise up their salary, they must do the same thing for you and me. Then he said the salary increase is just to decrease the temptation to bribery. No matter who we vote for, everybody need money to sustain us. the working class showed up en masse to vote for the government. With high expectations, their living conditions would soon see an improvement. But while we are waiting,
Man, I'm just sharing my love for the labor ministers, trying to lobby for them to get some get salary increase.
I find she is very amazing. It is very crafty that the lyrics and the content, the labor ministers can't live under the labor government.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Calypso. Yes. So, guys, as we indicated before the break, there is going to be a discussion for on good governance, and it's going to be carried here live on Win FM. For those persons who wish to be a part of the discussion, they can go as well. And if you want to listen from wherever you are,
Tune into Win FM. We'll be carrying it live.
Yep.
So here is the place to be, to tune in, to hear everything. Don't depend on hearsay. Hear it from the horse's mouth. We have quite a informed panel that will be representing issues. Come with your hard questions, come with your curiosity, and it should be an informed discussion. I'm going to be there.
And let you guys, we're going to wrap up at the usual 5 minutes too,
Yes.
so that I can prepare and so on.
No problem.
We have a call. You guys
Oh
wanna
yes, let's
call?
take the call.
Call or go right ahead.
Yes, good morning. For the last 3 hours I'm trying to get in, but I ain't gonna be long. I did want to say one thing there to the firemen then, but I couldn't get in at all. They're supposed to come in the program at this present time with expecting so much visitors and locals to come home to tell us how they're gonna help the health department clean this stinking jail out last year. What's going on?
But jam down though. But jam down. That's not their primary. That's not their primary purpose. I mean, you can call them and jam them. About because they don't go and stick a hose down a drain. I mean, come on, man. That's not their primary purpose. Talk to maybe the ministry about that, not them. Their primary purpose is to put fires out and to rescue people.
Fire and
exactly.
Mm-hmm. There's someone on the Facebook who says excellent song. There's someone who says the same person says I love that song. How can I get a copy of it?
Azard, I find you shady. I watch how he's smiling. It's quite brilliant.
I'll tell you, I have to watch him.
It's quite a brilliant song. The
Yeah.
Labour ministers can't live under the Labour government, but we still have not had much action on the minimum wage. Quite a brilliant social commentary.
Yeah,
quite relevant.
Exactly. And when we talk about the minimum wage, of course, we understand that has to be a discussion, not just with government, but also the private sector. Because government can propose, but the private sector as well has to be able to absorb and to function as well. In addition, I want to say, Michelina, we were here and we were speaking about you brought up the unauthorized, those bills, freedom of information and the like. And I said to myself, okay, we never had the chance to actually touch it the Friday because we had so much guests booked and paid for that time. And so,
and you don't want to talk about it today? You say we have to wait and be responsible.
Yes, I said let us wait and see what is happening, and then we could talk about it. But it just came to my mind that, look at it, we spoke about this not too long ago.
I tell you, they does listen. You don't believe me, they does listen. So we spoke about it. We have quite a reach across the Caribbean, in St. Kitts and Nevis, in the diaspora. And now you have these events. They does listen to us.
Which is important. It is important to listen, because when you listen to shows like these and other shows, it gives you a sort of indication of how people are feeling, and persons who are brave enough to call in and express what they're feeling.
Or a particular minister, politician, or sector might not like Michelina's perspective on a particular thing. You might not like how I speak about or I share my perception on a bill or act or policy. But then can create a platform and invite the public to share your perspective, which is brilliant and generous.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Jamsa, you were going to say something?
No, I was going to say, I think it's important that we not make this stuff about us. I remember when we first started, we got an inkling that people were listening, because you remember when we first started, maybe a month in, there was something we talked about, and then next thing they changed. They seem to change it. We're not sure, but but to Michelina's point, maybe they really are listening.
They're listening, and if they are not listening, persons paid with their assignment to study what is going on in the media, they are listening. Voice is very important.
It is.
Consistent voice is powerful. Voice is important, but consistent voice is powerful.
Yeah,
indeed. And as we go on our final, I just want to say on behalf of the People's Action Movement, because today is the Honorable Sean Richards' birthday, just to express, appreciation and to say happy birthday to him. And to other persons who are celebrating today too, I want to wish them very well. And, there is a barbecue at the People's Action Movement tomorrow at 5 p.m.
So it's Sean's birthday barbecue you want me to come to?
No, it's not Sean's birthday barbecue. It's the People's Action Movement barbecue tomorrow at 5. I'm glad you reminded me, because
you won't bring the ticket for me.
We have to talk after the show. It'll be good to have you at the PAM headquarters.
He want to take pictures with me and put it out in social media. You see the setup? You see the setup?
He's head hunting great minds for PAM. You'd love to have Michelina on your team,
I
huh?
have a yellow MCA church,
Good. Have you ever been up there?
No.
Good.
Are you going to break out in hives or anything? Like if
No.
Is it like the vampire type thing? You go into the church and then you start to smoke?
I think the comrade in me, I like to say of myself, I am a refined labor. I have come out of the Mumu congregation. I've retired my jersey.
Oh my God.
And I have a sense of self-awareness and autonomy.
You don't feel like that's going to be seen as a kind of deplorables comment?
But of course.
Akin to what Hillary Clinton said?
But of course. But that is okay. Because now, Michelina's first responsibility is to her credibility. And so I'm a comrade without a king. And I'm okay in that position. It comes with its privilege. It comes with its benefit. It comes with its detraction. But I am comfortable being a comrade without a king. So if PLP is having something and I want to go and investigate, I go in. If PAM is having something and I want to go, I go in. If Labour is having something and I want to go, I go in.
Get a head of garlic. Put it on a necklace.
So let me live,
Put it on, I'm kidding. Put it on a necklace and go to the barbecue.
Okay.
At PAM.
What time is the barbecue?
It's too
5
funny.
p.m.
5 p.m.?
I know that Michelina is all about health. So we have chicken, we have ribs, we're going to have pork, and she's about health. We're going to have fish as well.
But let me ask you, when you walk past Mass's house, do you start to cough or your skin starts to tingle?
I've actually been in Mass's house before.
And you didn't have any allergic reaction or anything? No.
I think we should all be mature. Like you see, how Michelina is okay to. Yeah. These are just buildings and structures. At the end of the day, we could come together, even though we have different voice and we have different affiliations. For example, we all are part of different clubs and association, and we can respect the different clubs and association.
And ultimately, we are Kitishans. This is my country. I was born here. I have generations who are here, and my ability to spend time understanding and listening in different spaces will no longer, because before I was in the Momo category, I've retired my jersey, will no longer be dictated.
You retired, yeah, burn it up.
Yeah, okay. Burn up.
Okay, guys, with that, gotta wrap up, you guys. This is very interesting. But go and have some barbecue.
And B Chalin is having a breakfast as well tomorrow on the 9th of December. There are tickets for sale, $20. Let's support the best primary school in St. Kitts and Nevis, my alma mater, the Beach Island Primary. Please come and support them. Education
time is
need
it, you
all of
said?
us support. Call me and I'll let you know. I'm looking at the ticket.
But it's
The
tomorrow.
time is, yes,
Okay, guys.
breakfast time, Beach Island, 6:30 to 9.
Okay.
6:30 to 9 at the Beach Island Primary.
Okay, guys,
Okay.
Win FM is all about good governance, so let's listen. Those who can, and if you can't listen now, you can listen after.
Yeah, okay.